Alright, here's a video for 1VT and 1HT about exercise 17 from chapter 6. This question is about a quadratic formula. Here we see a formula. A formula has letters and then you fill something in to calculate what it will be. And this is a quadratic formula because it has a squared there. So if it has a squared, then it's quadratic. And squared means that you have to do a number times, you have to multiply a number with itself. Right? So if you have 5, for example, you do 5 times 5. Now this is about the example formula. Well, in the book, here on page 14, we have this pattern here. We have this shape, and a new shape, and a new shape. See that? And then we have some dots. Well, they say that the formula that belongs with these shapes is n squared plus 3. And then you can use that formula to calculate the number of dots that you need to make such a shape. Now here it says calculate the number of dots in figure 10. So that means that the 10, we just have to take the 10 and fill it in over there. So if I want to write down the answer for 17a, I do a equals, you always have to write down what you calculate, and then we have to do 10 squared plus 3. Well, 10 squared is 100, because 10 times 10 is 100. And 100 plus 3 is 103. So our answer here is 103. I'm going to go to question B now. It says calculate the number of dots in figure 25. So then I have to calculate what this a is again, but now we have 25 squared plus 3. Well, 25 times 25 is 625. And if you add 3 to that, you get 628. And that's the answer. Now you can write down that you need so many dots. So I'm going to write down the word dots behind both of these things. And then we also have to do question C. And question C is the other way around, because now there is a figure, and we already know that the figure has 172 dots. But now the question is, what is the number? So what is the number that you have to fill in? Well, there are two ways to calculate this, so I'll show you both. The first way is just by guessing, really. If you fill in 10, you know it's going to be 103. If you fill in 25, it's going to be 628. So we know the correct answer is somewhere between 10 and 25. Because this is a lot further away from 172, I think it's going to be closer to 10. Right? So we might fill in 11 or 12 or 13 or 14. So let's just try one. Let's say that you think it is 12. So I'm going to fill in 12 now. 12 squared plus 3. Well, 12 squared is 144. And 144 plus 3 is 147. So you see we're not there yet. So then I'm going to try to fill in 13. So if I do 13 squared plus 3, well, 13 times 13 is 169. And then 169 plus 3 is 172. Which is the correct one. So that means that what is the figure number? The figure number is number 13. That's the answer here. So one way to calculate is just trying something until you have the correct answer. Now the other way to calculate is a bit more difficult, but if you understand it, you can use it. Because now I don't know what the number is, right? But if I square it and then do plus 3, I get 172, right? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this 3 here. I'm also going to make this 3 smaller. Because if n squared plus 3 is 172, that means that n squared is 169, right? Because if I add 3 to this, I get that. So n squared should be this. Now squared is the same, is the opposite, sorry. It's the opposite of square root. So if I want to know what n is, I take the square root of 169. In the previous lesson you learned about square roots. Right? Remember on this page, here we have all sorts of square roots. And maybe you know that the square root of 169 is 13. And then you already have the answer. So there are two ways to calculate exercise C. You can just try it until you have the correct thing, or you can just solve it. Here. This is actually something that you learn later. This is called solving an equation. You don't have to remember those words now. But you just use some logic. You remove the 3 here, and then we take a square root, and then we have the answer. So hopefully people could follow this. That would be very nice. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.